Welcome to What the Flick. Today we're talking about Riverdale Chapter 23, The Blackboard Jungle. Alonzo is out, but Jason and I are going to carry you through this episode.
Yeah.
Jason, I have a confession. Very excited for Riverdale to return in the new year. I was amped. I woke up early to watch this episode because I can't get it last night. And this was the first episode I felt a little let down by this season, and I'm really confused with some of the plot points that they're throwing out there.
Yeah.
I'd love to get your take on it, but off the jump, the first thing that was very weird to me is just our sort of lightly dealing with the fact that Cheryl Blossom's mom has just full-on gone into prostitution and running her house as a brothel. That, to me, is like its own, like that's a whole episode right there. And they just sort of talk about it literally over breakfast.
Right.
And then it just comes up again. She's like, I actually really like it. Which, girl, sure, maybe she does. That's great. But I would have... It just feels like a very flighty way of dealing with a very serious family transition.
Right. Well, the way they handled it was appropriate. Just very flighty because the way the mom presented it was very flighty.
And perhaps that's the Blossom way.
Right. You know, and Cheryl's there in complete disarray and complete astonishment about, Mom, you're turning tricks on the back of the chocolate shop? You know, so, but whatever. As you know, they've never been my favorite part of the show. I was not let down by this episode because we see the Southside High being quarantined, if you will, because there's they found jingle jangle or methamphetamine.
Drugs, gangs.
Yes.
Mayor McCoy has decided that we need to shut down Southside High and that the students will be dispersed to other institutions, academic institutions, and of course all the serpents wind up at Riverdale
High, right.
And that is the main change that we are seeing that we're going to have to deal with in this second half of the season.
What was really one of the storylines that stood out to me was Archie and how Archie is now working together with the FBI, because we were wondering why were there pictures being taken during the winter finale. Look,
that's another thing. I was very frustrated when that guy revealed, and when he does the whole like take out your earbuds, real smooth FBI move. Here's my card. It is unfortunately very reminiscent of Pretty Little Liars, where you have a figure from law enforcement that corners a teenager. And what I liked about Riverdale, and what I still really like about Riverdale, is that they will at least acknowledge those tropes. And I'm nervous that they're sort of diving head into the weeds on the whole Archie working with the FBI on maybe him being involved. If you need to work through it, fine, but you have to at least acknowledge how weird it is. And the best that we got was a line from Archie saying, hey, don't you need to talk to my parents first? You have to acknowledge illegal? It is very weird. What I would like for the show to do is for this FBI agent to not actually be an FBI agent and just be a guy that's working.
That's what I thought he was.
Okay, to usurp the Lodge family.
Yes. And then, sidebar, Josie's no longer with the Pussycats.
I was wondering about that as well.
Formerly of the Pussycats.
When did that happen?
I don't know. I thought, did I miss something in the finale?
We'll have to see in the comments if we might have missed something, but I don't remember that I know that it's been tense with the Pussycats.
Right, she's the Beyonce, they're Kelly and Michelle.
And they've had some changing lineups. I mean, Veronica has sort of done like guest spots here and there.
Featuring Veronica Lodge.
As when we came into the show, they were such a core unit and they all really had each other's back, and we've seen there's been a rift that's been created, and remember Cheryl was part of that, you know, trying to get Josie to go solo, but I didn't know that they were really broken up for good broken up. I always thought that they were just sort of like
doing side projects, like you know, Gwen Stefani left No Doubt to do her side project.
An excellent example.
So we got an insight to what the lodges are doing, why they're this menacing family, and Veronica is
you got to break that down, because last time that we reviewed the show with Alonzo, we were talking about we're unclear about what exactly is Veronica getting into with the Lodge family and all this secrecy and the winking and the backroom deals with Mayor McCoy. Can you finally explain what the reveal was? What is the Lodge family doing?
Well, that's the thing. It's still not as clear for me as I would like it to be, Grace. I'm trying to figure it out myself. From what I got is they're in cahoots with Mayor McCoy, of course, and so they're trying to tear down Southside High and I guess build something else.
It's part of the
Sodale, yes. But they don't come out and say there's something more sinister. I don't think they're just doing dirt for real estate. You know, they're like, hey, we're gonna kill people because we want a new strip mall in Riverdale. If they
are, that is gonna be real boring. But as far as we know, they're in cahoots with Mayor McCoy. They're gonna donate some of the profits from the Sodale project to Mayor McCoy's re-election campaign, and that is why that is the real reason. Although I'm sure that the drugs and gang stuff was
that sounds
easy to play into as well.
Drugs and gangs.
Scapegoated on there.
Sounds way more exciting than, you know what, we need a new Walmart in Riverdale. We need a super Walmart in Riverdale. How you feel about killing people and, you know, putting people out of their homes to build this Walmart?
Yeah.
That doesn't sound very, very exciting.
Well, so you have the real estate side of the lodge, and then another thing that we learn, and that Archie is starting to learn as well, is that the lodge family taking it a step further and actually enacting violence on people who have crossed the family. We're thinking of Nicholas St. Clair,
yes.
who mysteriously breaks both of his legs in a skiing accident.
Well, no, Hermione tells Veronica that, oh, they had you won't be hearing from them anymore. They had a car accident, but you know they're no longer in the picture. But then Nick says it was a skiing accident. Who knows? Nonetheless, I'm glad that we get to finally know that besides what we suspected, that the lodges are sinister, they're menacing, they don't care, and that's kind of attractive to me. They're my favorite part of the show. Really? Yes.
Well, they have established themselves as a ruthless crime family, and Archie is starting to get wind of that, and we're going to see where his alliances and allegiances go, especially as his relationship with Veronica is tested, because it is revealed that to Veronica that Archie shared a kiss with Betty when all this stuff with the Black Hood was going on, and it seemed like they sort of responded to it with surprising maturity, just saying, well, you did this, and we were broken up, it was a hard time, and let's just move on.
Season 1, in the closet,
yeah,
Veronica kissed Archie when Archie and Betty were kind of having a relationship. So one of the things that I think was going to be really cool is seeing how the Southside Serpents are now being integrated into Riverdale High, because they were told to shed their skins, and all the metaphors and all the riddles in this show are just like serpents never shed their skin, or serpents slither under the sun. It's like, stop, we get it.
It was like we're hiding in the tall grass.
Tall grass.
Like, oh my God, like a snake.
Like a snake, a rattlesnake.
That's what snakes do.
Yeah, it's really crazy, but I'm glad to see that they are being integrated and how they're going to maneuver in this new environment, because Tony Topaz, stunning. Yeah. I prefer her and Jughead together. I love that interracial kind of energy there. But poor Betty and poor Alice Cooper. Yeah, well, I mean, the Coopers have definitely taken a hard break in this season premiere. I think that it's interesting to see Jughead step in as the leader. Very excited that that's going to be a new layer to his character, where before he was this, for as long as we've known him, he was a reluctant serpent, reluctant to accept his heritage into the serpentry, or whatever you want to call it. And now he is really leading them head on. Juxtapose that with Betty and the Cooper's life just being thrown into a tailspin. This is another problem I had with this episode. So we find out that Polly has had the twins, but she's kind of a part of a cult called the Farm or something, or some protective agents or organization or whatever. She's going back to the farm, and she cuts off. She's like, I'm done with being with I'm done being with the Coopers. They hurt me too much. They crossed me. I think she has love for Betty, but she's not interested in being part of her family's life. And so Betty's response to this is, well, I know that my mom had a son that she put in foster, she gave for adoption, and maybe it would make her feel happy if she found him again. Instead of dealing with the trauma of her sister, it feels like such a distraction and a deflection from dealing with the actual problem, which doesn't seem like a very Betty thing to do. She's very focused and type A, and like, okay, this is the problem, I'm gonna deal with this is where I'm gonna lay my focus, not like, okay, setting that aside, now creating a whole new plot and character. Exactly, and don't take her Ducky Nightlight. That's hers, put it back. Do you guys saw where she, Ducky Nightlight? Did you I think it was a baby nightlight. Baby Ducky, it's all the same stuff to me. Baby Duck. Charles Smith. If the names on the show couldn't get any less creative, but they find out who he is. They find him in a hotel, and he does voyeuristic imagery for people. I'm not sure. He says he just creates fantasies or something. Sounds very Pornhub to me. That would be an interesting thing for them to explore. But he's a villain. He is, I don't know. This show, I always wonder about if we're getting just served another red herring. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the episode, we see him hovering over Betty's bed, which is very scary. Very scary. And there is something off about him. He has a secret, which I feel like that's a thing with so many people in Riverdale. Each of them kind of have a secret, and it's whether we're gonna focus on their secret in that episode. Like Archie, like I just want to sing, or like Archie, I'm having an affair with the teacher, or Betty, I have feelings for Archie, or Jughead, I'm a secret serpent, or whatever the fuck. And now we're doing that with this new character. The problem is that
I'm not really sure that I care. I really wanted to figure out what was going on with Polly. Like, we have empathy for that character. We know her. I'm sympathetic to her situation, and she has a dynamic in this world. It just sort of feels like they threw it away, and I'm just afraid that we're going to go down the route of Pretty Little Liars.
There's so many wannabe intersecting storylines with these characters that if they just focus on maybe two storylines that could really be poignant, that could really have some depth, would be phenomenal. Fred finds out, hey, my $86,000 medical bill was paid by the lodges. I'm cool with that. Because he was so adamant about not needing help, then he got help, and he's like, you know what, fine, I'm gonna take it, it's cool. So I feel like we're gonna see an evolution with his relationship with Hermione and Hiram, because why would he automatically have a change of heart? I get it. When an Angel of the Nation comes in your name, get the coins. But previously, you were not for it. So there's an inconsistency there. Red herrings, you're right. They need to stop trying to have this suspense and try to build and, you know, what's going to happen? You know, Archie, well, I think the Black Hood is still out there.
Well, I mean, that's a great thing to bring up, Jason, is because I felt convinced, and I know we talked about this at the mid-season finale, that the Black Hood was just sort of a decoy person, that I felt that janitor had been blackmailed by the Black Hood to hold up Betty and Archie. It just felt too suspicious, too convenient, and too neatly tied with a bow. So I felt for sure that we were going to get some sort of a tease that the saga with the Black Hood wasn't over, because it just felt a little bit too neatly taken care of, and washed our hands of that plot point.
Because it was so thick.
And I don't know if it felt earned also. So I was looking for that, and instead I was disappointed to have this new maybe villain introduced. And I'm hoping that I love this show and I trust this show, that I will be proven totally, absolutely wrong, and that this is all going to be tied together. There's a master plan overseeing all these weird little introductions. But it is left to be seen. And I guess we'll have to tune in next week and see how they're going to tie this up.
I'm excited. On a scale of 1 to 10, I give this episode a 7, only because of the inconsistencies, and because this is, you know, when you come back from a winter finale, this is the home stretch. This sets up for the cliffhanger in May. And if you watch any CW shows like The Vampire Diaries or The Originals or any of those shows that have really good finales and really good cliffhangers, you know they have to build. But like we said, the inconsistencies and the numerous storylines and the numerous things going on could leave us not satiated and maybe a little disappointed for season 2 finale.
It's early to say, but we're sharing our concerns with you. We'd like to hear from you guys in the comment section below. What did you think of this episode? What do you think about the storylines they're introducing, this potential new villain? Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and we will see you next time on What the Flick.